Giddy and Ben and Ronen that I would start off before, because they have to leave. You know, being a shomar is a very hard job. So to give just one thought about relationships, I always tell people when I give, for those people that ever heard the dating and marriage here, it's always very funny when you have it's not on tape, right? That it's always funny when you have I know it's on tape.
It's on SD card, not tape. Yeah, we went off the record. Can you say that?
It's okay. I'll watch what I say. No, the funny piece is always when you're at the ufruf, and all of your single friends get up with their sagacious advice. And they tell you, this is how it's going to be. This is what you should do to have a very happy marriage. And you're always thinking like, but you're single. And so how are you giving the advice to Ronan must be like a very good advice. So I'll tell you one thing that this coming week's parsha, what we learned by Yirah Elav Hashem Be'onei Mamrei, Hu Yoshei Petach Chom Hayom. One of the sources, the Gemara in Sota Daf Yudalit says that we learn about imitatio Dei, we learn about imitating God, about how God is compassionate, God is bevakir chola. And the essence of the mitzvah of imitating Hashem explains the Sforno is the idea of when Hashem tests us is not just tam, as the Ramban says, to bring the potential into actual, to get reward for that, but is to be a person, a compassionate person, to be able to be a loving person, to be able to be a godly person. And there's no better relationship as a chatan and kala, to have that v'ahavta l'recha kamocha type of relationship. And under the chuppah many years ago, almost 3 years ago, I told Ben Mitchell that under the ksuba, in the ksuba where you sign, it says ana eflach ve'okir. I'm gonna treasure you. I'm gonna be sensitive to you. And I was telling it to Ben. I also telling it to Giddy. It's very easy to be nice to people you haven't seen in a while. It's very nice to be sensitive, to be able, when you're living with a person, day in and day out, to actually not just be the nice guy, especially if they're an Adam Cohen who knows how to be like a really nice guy, right? But when you're living with somebody every single day, that's where you mamish need a ksuba to sign on. But I want to take one step further, Ben, and Reb Giddy. One step further. Because there's another buzzword when we have relationships. And a lot of times they tell you, you know how you have a successful relationship? They tell you the one important word. Really, a lot of people, they say two important words. You know what they tell you? They say, yes, dear. Right? That's what they tell you to teach, yes, dear. So I'm not so sure I agree with those two words, you know, personally. But they tell you a different buzzword. You know what buzzword they tell you? You gotta learn how to compromise. So many males, when they hear the word compromise, you know what you think? They think, okay, you know, once in a while I got to throw her a bone. You know, I'll throw a compromise. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't want it, but I threw her a bone. Right? That's what you think about compromise. Right? Those people who've been in relationships, you know what I'm talking about. Right? It's compromise. So I want to tell you, after almost 10 years of marriage, I think I learned what a compromise means. I think I understand what it's talking about.
When neither party are happy.
What is that?
When neither party are happy.
No. Compromise, and what really makes a solid relationship, I believe, and what it meant is as follows: is that you think you're passionate, you think you know something, you figured out you're an independent, you have two independent individuals, and you have your opinion, and you know your opinion. And then what happens? You now are marrying a different person with their own opinions. All of a sudden, whatever subject matter that you think you're convinced that you know right, all of a sudden your partner now comes and says, no, I want to do it this way. And inside, till now, you're like, yes, we are like-minded, we fight a little bit, we're fine, it's good, we smile together, it's very nice, we want to share the same vision, very nice, honey, very nice. Okay? Now all of a sudden you're passionate, or you think you have this way, it's figured out, this is the way you've done it for many years. Now all of a sudden this other person who's claiming to love you is telling you that you have it all wrong. See, here it's not just throwing a bone. Here it's, do I have respect? Do I really respect this person? Do I really believe that this person is a friend of mine? That they're not trying to just like mess me over? You know? To be able to respect and say, you know what? You're so passionate about this also. Let me even hear what you have to say. Because a lot of times you're so passionate about your own opinion that you're crazy. What you're saying is rubbish. It's not what I've learned. What I've learned to be able to understand. This is compromise. This is excruciatingly difficult to be able to take that step back, because we're talking about something that you really think that you're right, and that person really thinks that you're wrong. And somewhere's got to give. Now, it's not where you're not going to be happy. Okay? I'm going back to the Rashi Tosfos. There's ability to be able to listen and be confident enough in yourself and in the relationship to be able to hear the other person's opinion. So that's my bracha as we start off before you leave. That you be able to, number one, you should cherish her, she should cherish you. But you be able to be sensitive, to be able to pick up that midah, v'ahavta kamocha, and learn within the marriage. Because the biggest challenge, I think, in Shana Rishona, you ask people, is how to find the balance of a davak b'ishto v'ayu lebasar echad, being able to be together, but also at the same time still having your own space. I think it's a very hard balance in Shana Rishona. So my bracha from the yeshiva, from Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Bar Hashem Yerushalayim, you should have a marriage full of simcha and of communication, of trust, and to come in, I don't have to see you here. Motzi Shabbos, call you at 5 in the morning to be able to. Giddy now is a 5 in the morning worker, right? Gets up at 5 in the morning. He's there, so you should have a lot of simcha and a lot of communication and a lot of eventually some compromise, in the marriage. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Mazel tov.